A murder probe has been launched after one of Britain's richest men, multimillionaire Sir Richard Sutton, who owned land in Lincolnshire, was found stabbed to death. His injuries were reportedly so bad that police officers initially believed he had been shot, the Times understands. An eyewitness, Maureen Kane, 50, who was at home when the incident occurred, claims up to 40 armed police officers swarmed the area. Maureen said, "I just heard a loud screech of cars swerving and then crash sounds. Then I looked out of my window and saw lots of armed police jumping on top of a car and aiming guns at a man and all around his car. He was a white male in his 30s and seemed to be injured. It looked pretty bad, but I'm not sure if he was injured in a crash. He was naked as they ripped his clothes off and pulled him out of the car. I was scared as I thought it was a terrorist and there were so many police officers with guns. About 10 policemen surrounded him until an ambulance arrived. Paramedics attempted to treat the man, who was clearly in some distress," an eyewitness told Mail Online. The hotelier's Danish second wife Anne, a physiotherapist, was airlifted to the Southmead Hospital in Bristol. Sir Richard Sutton, who owned a string of top hotels in London, died during an incident at a property near Gillingham, Dorset. He had an extensive property and farming portfolio, including the 6,500-acre Benham estate in West Berkshire, and the Stainton estate in Lincolnshire. In total, he and his family own close to 7,000 acres of land across the UK, more than double the amount owned by the Mod. Sir Richard married his first wife Fiamma Sutton in 1959 before they divorced. They had 2 children, David, 61, and Caroline, 55, and 5 grandchildren. He later married Anne, who has 3 children from a previous relationship. Daughters Louisa, 39, Rose, 35, and son Thomas, 34. Sir Richard had bought his Moorhill country estate in Dorset in 2014 for £1.4 million. Dorset police said a man in his 80s suffered fatal stab wounds at a property in Higher Langham on Wednesday evening. When they got there, they found Sir Richard with fatal knife wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene at 9:15 p.m. A woman in her 60s, named in reports as Sir Richard's wife, was critically injured in the incident and was airlifted to Southmead Hospital in Bristol. Police said a 34-year-old man, who was known to the victims, was arrested in the Hammersmith area of London after a vehicle was stopped by the Met Police. The suspect, who was from the Gillingham area, was later taken to hospital for treatment to injuries that are not believed to be life-threatening. Sir Richard was one of the UK's wealthiest people. Sir Richard's fortune is worth £301 million, according to the Sunday Times Rich List, which ranks him as the 435th wealthiest person in the country. He owned the 5-star Sheraton Grand and Athenaeum hotels on London's Park Lane. He had an extensive property and farming portfolio, including the 6,500-acre Benham estate in West Berkshire and the Stainton estate in Lincolnshire. In a statement, Sir Richard Sutton Limited said, "We are deeply saddened and devastated by the sudden death of Sir Richard Sutton, announced this morning. Sir Richard was a caring, generous and warm family man, who genuinely regarded those who worked for him as part of his extended family. Sir Richard was passionately devoted to both his company and its people, setting the highest standards for quality in the hotel, farming and property interests within the group. His loss will be felt by everyone within the company, those who worked with him, and his family who have lost an incredible individual. Our thoughts are with the Sutton family at this tragic time." Dorset police appeal for anyone with information to contact officers. A neighbor said, "The Suttons live there. They have 2 grown-up children and grandchildren. It is just awful. You would never imagine something like this could happen. They are lovely people." A local farmer said, "I saw a search helicopter with a spotlight overhead last night and then an air ambulance landed. The people who live there is an old English gentry landowner and his wife." Another neighbor said they were aware of police helicopters flying over the house for a number of hours. Their family has been informed and the Dorset coroner has been notified of the death. Detective Inspector Simon Huxter, who is leading the investigation, said, "Our thoughts are with the family of the man who sadly died and the injured woman at this extremely difficult time. And they are being supported by specially trained officers. We will be carrying out a full investigation to establish exactly what happened at the address in Higher Langham." And I would appeal to anyone who saw or heard anything suspicious in the area on the evening of April 7th to please contact us.